As an aspiring screenwriter, one of the biggest lessons you can learn is the importance of the first 10 pages of your script. It's important to immerse viewers and paint a vivid picture of your story, establishing the world, characters, and inciting incident that propels your story forward. And it's pretty difficult. If you're like me, you end up feeling like this guy here, barely 10 pages in. The problem is, like many others, is that I'm a serious overwriter, which is more acceptable if you're a novelist like Robert Jordan or Brandon Sanderson building their huge fantasy epics. But in the world of screenwriting, where less is more, we don't really have 100 or so pages to introduce our world or story. We only have about 10 before a Hollywood producer decides to either buy it or throw it in the trash with the rest of his lunch. So a solution for this? Well, I discovered this lovely Columbia Noir box set from Indicator.
Come closer. I want to talk to you. I'm going to tell you an astounding story. The story of the Maltese Falcon.
Before I start talking about how or why these box sets sort of improved and changed my writing, I think I better start with what exactly is film noir. The term film noir, French for black film or literal dark film, was first applied to Hollywood films by French critic Nina Frank in 1946 to describe American thriller, crime or detective films from the 40s and the 50s. The style of film noir came from a difficult time in history, following the Great Depression and World War II. These films were often dark, gritty, and have familiar archetypes such as the introduction of the femme fatale, a sinister woman taking advantage of a powerless man.
Hilda, are you decent?
Me? Sure, I'm decent.
The anti-hero protagonist and the most identifiable trope, the high contrast lighting created lots of shadows. During the Hollywood Golden Age, going to the movies was escapism, particularly during the Great Depression. So many theatres showed double features, 2 movies for the price of 1. This led to people coming for the main feature but also being able to see a second picture. This usually a lesser film called the B-movie. These were all also common in the noir genre. Films like Framed, The Mob, and plenty of early Glenn Ford pictures were classed as B-noirs. A lot of these B-noirs sort of face the same struggles as aspiring screenwriters or aspiring filmmakers face now. Is their budgets were very limited. This meant that a lot of the films were only about 60 to 80 minutes long, and it meant that they have to tell their stories as quick as possible. So I'm going to show you in a moment the opening clip to the lineup of 1958 film starring Eli Wallach, and watch how it introduces us to the story and throws us right into the middle of the action. As you can see there, the opening of the lineup is a perfect way to hook your audience in a matter of seconds. We have an opening shot of people getting off the boat, and we watch a man suspiciously drop off a package, a taxi, and the taxi speed away into a high-speed chase where he's gunned down, and the title is overlaid on our screen all in less than 30 seconds. What makes this opening so great is that all of it is done through action. There is no dialogue that hooks us into this mystery. This clip from Christopher Nolan summarises this very well.
I started off in the noir genre, as we talked about earlier, and that's a genre in which you define character through action. People can talk about who they are and what motivates them, but you don't trust them. You wait and see, what do they actually do? What do they do to each other? And that's essential to the way that genre works. I think that's the most strong form of characterization. And I think in various ways, all the films I've done have relied on that film noir dynamic, whether it's science fiction, like Interstellar or Inception, or action films like the Dark Knight trilogy. There's always an underlying film noir dynamic. There's always this question of let's judge the characters based on what they do rather than what they say.
The quickest way to hook your audience in is action. Some of the very best openings in film come from these B-noirs who suffer from a lack of resources, time and budget.
Where's the money, Lebowski?
So the next time you're writing your first 10 pages of your script, think, could I tell this in action instead of dialogue? Thank you for watching.